So I waited and waited, and then they put up 4 townhomes in that place. And my wife and I decided to hand out gift bags in the area to all the new people that moved into that area. So I handed out a gift bag to 4 people in them 4 townhomes. And one of them became my friend. His name was Mark Luong. And I ministered to him for 1 year. 1 year. And he came to Jesus Christ. And today, he moved from that house out to Scarborough to our ministry at Rouge Valley Church, where I'm a church planner in this church today. And he is one of my most valuable members. He is a strong Christian. And it was done because God confirmed to me that he made me a preacher. I was a street kid, and he made me a preacher today. Today, I'm at Rouge Valley Church, and I'm a pastor there. And I have so many stories to tell you. I don't have time of how God confirmed me, a person who's so unworthy, a street kid, to become a preacher. And it's all because of the grace of Jesus Christ. And I just wanted to leave this with you, that I always wondered in my heart when I got saved, who prayed for me? Because in my home, nobody was a born-again believer back, I don't know how long, how many generations back. And I always wondered who prayed for me. But in May of 2007, I went back to my hometown where I froze in a snowbank. And as I went back, I went to a little church up there on Sunday morning. And I always wondered who prayed for me. But as I was going to this church, I was reading a book called Finding the Rest of God by Mark Buchanan. And I was at the chapter, How Big is Your God? And I asked the Lord, how big are you, God? How big are you? And I went into this little Baptist church in Kirkland Lake, and I sat down, and the preacher was preaching, how big is your God? And I knew that God was going to talk to me. And so one of the elders of that church came up to me, and my friend who lives in Kirkland Lake, was a drug dealer, became a Christian with me too. And he was handing out my testimony all through Kirkland. And as I went into this church, I shook the elder's hand, told him my name, and he says, you're that street kid who froze in the snowbank. And then he went up to the pastor and told him I was in the congregation. And as he said, the pastor was preaching on that Sunday. He said, I'm going to conclude my message in a different way. I'm going to get this young man who froze in a snowbank to tell his story. How big is God? And I went up and I told him how big what God did, frozen in a snowbank, being a street kid, and turning into a preacher today. I told him. I sat down, and I still always wondered who prayed for me. And as I sat down, people came and thanked me. But this little old lady in front of me, she turned around and she was in tears, crying. And she looked at me, and she said, 35 years ago, when you froze in a snowbank, it was in the paper. And I began to pray for you. And I always wondered whatever happened to that boy who froze in a snowbank. And she says, today, I know you have become a preacher. And she hugged me and we were crying. I say to you, that's how big God is. He made this kid, this street kid, into a preacher. And I just want to say this to you, to give people hope. I had no hope. And when I received Jesus Christ, he gave me hope. And more than hope, he gave me a future. May God bless you, and may he keep you to come to Jesus Christ.